Hi, my name's Keziah Gibbons. My pronouns are she and her. I'm the founder of the Guided by Keziah app, and this is this week's tarot reading for the week ahead. And today I've got a tarot reading for you, which is themed around going back to school, because that's what we're doing here in York, where I live. So the spread that I've created for you is around this theme. So our first position for this week is kit. Now, I don't know about any other parents out there, but in the last weeks I have spent a ridiculous amount of money on 3 pairs of shoes, uniforms, different stationery items, all of these things, which seem to be essential for the kids to go to school. But once the kit is got, then that's the kids all prepared to go in. They're ready. They have, with the uniform, they have that identity of the school. They know that if they need whatever they need to do, they have the equipment for it. So for you this week, what that position is about how prepared you are, having your kit, having your equipment, having whatever you need to wear or use as a tool prepared. So this might also show us where the kind of kit that we might need this week. And then the start of the school year is full of both hopes and fears, isn't it? So I've got space for both as the kids go in. And I remember this, even though it's decades ago for myself. You have hopes for how the year might go, and you have fears about what it might be like. And both of those, of course, are perfectly normal, perfectly natural. So this week we have positions there to explore the hopes and fears that might be with us this week. And we have community, because whatever your position is at school, whether you're a kid going back, a parent, a teacher, the school is a community. It's always a community. And, some communities are more functional than others, but schools are communities. So this week, this position in the spread leaves us space to explore what community might be like for us this week. And of course, why do we go to school, or why do the kids go to school? What's the point of it? And the point is to learn. So here we have the final position, what might we learn this week? So that's our spread for the week. And I thought the right deck for this reading would be the Light Seer's Tarot by Chris Ann. So that's the deck that I'm using this week. So please take a deep breath. Go inwards and just ask to receive what you need from this reading. And of course, if there is something you're working through at this time, you can bring that to mind now and ask to receive the guidance that you need. It's trusting the cards. Okay, so our first position then, kit. How well equipped are we for the week? And what we've got here is the 6 of Cups. So this is often seen as being about nostalgia. We have here the child and the puppy, and the adult and the dog. And we can look backwards and forwards in time. The adult and the dog can look back to the child and the puppy. The child and the puppy can look forwards to the adult and the dog. So the meaning that occurs to me in very practical terms, still thinking of that back to school, is hand-me-downs. What might we pass down? Because sometimes getting our equipment, whether it's our school kit or whatever else it is, whatever it is for you this week, we don't always have the resources to do that very easily. If we have to go out and buy everything new, that can become quite challenging for some people. Here in the UK, we have a cost of greed crisis going on, which I won't go into, but lots of people are finding it difficult. And so this is a reminder that, we can use resources that already exist. We can pass on what we've got to people who can use it. We can ask for what we need from the people who've got it. It is possible to live in this way, and it is healthy to live in this way. So a reminder that if there are practical needs that you have this week, it's all right for you to get them from within what's already existing, rather than having to get new all the time. And then this is just a reminder that, the past might be influencing our practical abilities, our practical decisions, our what's available to us this week. But I see this always as a card of gratitude. You can see here this adult and the dog reflecting on that child and that puppy. And what have the two images got in common? There's love there, isn't there? The cups are, of course, about the emotional side. So there's love there. And I think it's always important to remember that and to appreciate that with gratitude. And so whether we're caring for children in our lives or our inner children, bringing that element of gratitude can always help. So there we go. The kit is the 6 of Cups. Hopes next. What hopes might we discover or be aware of this week? And we have here the 9 of Wands, and you can see here there's a boundary being set. You can see this person, and they are standing tall. They're holding on to that wand. The wand is a light, and they're standing their ground. And the 9 of Wands is often about sort of standing your ground. So in terms of hopes, this might be about, standing strong, being able to stand your ground, being able to set appropriate boundaries. The Wands is that suit of fire, of creativity as well. So there may be some creative ownership going on this week. That might be something that you're also hoping for. And then fears. What fears might be about this week? And we have here, it's a major arcana card, it's the Hermit. So I don't tend to see the Hermit as a fearful card. That might be my introversion coming through. But the Hermit is often, firstly, the major arcana tend to be about this, the spiritual side of things, or big life lessons, big phases in life. And the Hermit I see as the meditation card. That person's gone off to withdraw from the world and find their own path, seek within. And you see here that when they do that, they naturally start to shine a light. And what hermits often do is that they act as a guide for others, often without wanting to, or without knowing that they do, or without that being their main objective. In this position of fears, though, I wonder if that's more about sort of isolation. So the Hermit does withdraw. The Hermit is a solitary card. So I wonder if there are fears for you, for us around this week, around isolation. And what the Hermit tells us is that, if we do find ourselves in a position of some kind of isolation this week, that's okay. Take advantage of it. Go inwards, seek inwards, create that meditative space. Discover your own light and allow it to shine, and that will guide others back to you if actually what you need is to be not quite so withdrawn and isolated. And then community. What might we discover in community this week? And we have here the Knight of Swords. And you see this is a card of action. This person is running, they're about to jump on their motorbike. There's a crow flying overhead. There's a lot of action going on here. And so this is a week of movement in the community. The Knight of Swords swords are about air, they're about mental energy. And the Knight of Swords is often someone who kind of dashes in, fixes problems, a bit of a rescuer, quick responder, perhaps a first responder, perhaps reacting rather than responding. So this can be really useful in situations where something needs to be done and quickly. And it's less useful in situations where you need to kind of think, look before you leap. So this might be an energy that's surrounding community at the moment. And if you are like me in a place where there is a big change going on in community, such as going back to school, then that might just be the kind of frantic action of going back to school. Or if there's some other movement going on for you in your community, then yes, this energy of movement is there with you. So it's a good time to act in community. So if you are someone who's involved in community actions of some kind, it is a good time to act as well. And finally, learning. What can we learn this week? Oh, and one's jumped out at me. It's another major arcana, and it's temperance. Look at that. So you see here, temperance has this kind of, in the background, it's not showing up very well on the camera, but you see there those wings. That's about being guided, being connected with the more than ourselves. And temperance is a card of balance. You see the fireball of the sun and the rock ball of the moon there. You see them moving in this pattern around the figure in temperance. He's just sitting there cross-legged, fairly peacefully. And so temperance is about, can be about literal temperance, not overdoing it. Can be about refinding balance, refinding peace. And if there is a lot kind of going on, then, you know, temperance is that equanimity that helps us to face it. And, you know, especially when there is some agitation going on, this can be what we really need. And it can be the appropriate way to show up. So if there's advice in this reading about what we can learn this week, it is this finding temperance. So there may be times this week when you feel like there's a lot going on, when you feel like you need to stand your ground, when you might feel isolated. And during all of these times, just whatever practice you have that helps you to regain balance, that's the practice to return to again and again. So thank you so much for joining me. That's our reading for the week ahead. Please do check out the other tarot resources in the Guided by Keziah app. We have a live workshop coming up on Saturday, which is Ancestor Circle. And then the Magician Season 2 starts in October. And if you missed the Magician Season 1, you can also catch up on that in the tarot practice section of the Guided by Keziah app. So please do have a look around and find those resources and enjoy them. I wish you a wonderful week ahead. I'll see you again next Monday with another tarot reading. And until then, take good care.